Hi there, it's Simon Gray from Career Codex, back with another weekly video. And this week I'm going slightly off-piste. This is not your regular video where I'm going to talk about things to do and how to navigate the job market successfully. It's more about an observation I made on life, something that happened at the weekend, which of course if you analyse, it relates to all aspects of life, including a job search, but immediately the direct link may not appear to be there. And this video today really is all about what our most valuable asset is in life, and also 5 life lessons that I really reflected on at the weekend, because I went to a school reunion, and I don't know whether anyone watching has ever been to a school reunion, but it was a slightly strange experience. And I must admit, when I was invited to go to it about 6 months ago, I was slightly apprehensive, because these are people I had not seen for 26 years. So back when I was 18, 1990, World Cup fever gripped the nation. I think Germany won. There was a player called Toto Schillaci, an Italian player who came from nowhere to be the top goal scorer. And these are really fond memories, like they were yesterday. But I hadn't seen these people for 26 years. So driving to the event, which is back in my hometown, driving to the event, I was slightly nervous, which is unusual for me because I'm used to presenting, I'm used to public speaking, I'm used to organising events. But suddenly I felt this nervousness. But it was a clue that actually what I was doing is the right thing. Because if you've watched my previous videos, listened to podcasts or blogs, you'll know that I see fear, providing it's not life-threatening fear, as a really good indicator as to the direction of travel I should be taking and others should be taking. Because it tells me I'm on the periphery of my comfort zone. If I want to do something slightly uncomfortable, the chances are on the periphery, if I stay there for long enough, then I'll grow and develop and learn something. And that's exactly what happened. So anyway, I got to this event and I walked into the room, and it was fantastic, you know, to see all of these people that I'd not seen for so long. It was really a trip down memory lane, and it just felt like yesterday because things slotted so well into place. And I was a mixture of emotions, and I hadn't really expected this before I went, because on the one hand I felt really, really happy to see these people, but on the other hand I felt quite sad. And I couldn't quite put my finger on why I felt sad, but a period of self-reflection afterwards, analysis of what had gone on, I came up with 2 reasons. And these were the 2 reasons. So the first reason is when you go to a school reunion, of course the question you get asked is, what have you been doing? And essentially in this situation, this was 26 years in the making, what have you been doing for the last quarter of a century? So suddenly, in answering that question, you've got to think back to what you've spent the last 25 years of your life doing. And it kind of acts as a mirror on your life and how you've chosen to spend your time, how I've chosen to spend my time. And of course, the second reason is I remembered my friends as being 18. Of course, we all looked a little bit older, a little bit wiser. We looked a little bit different. We'd all moved on with our lives. We'd all aged a little bit. And of course, that's inevitable. But it really was a mirror as to the passage of time and how we're only here for a short time, and what we choose to spend that time on is so important. And also from, you know, it's quite sad, we had a toast to 2 or 3 people that were no longer with us, that couldn't be there, were there in spirit. And that also was a kind of opportunity to reflect on, you know, how quickly time passes and how, you know, how limited time we spend on this planet. It's a reminder of, I guess, of our own mortality, and what we do with the time is really important while we're here. So it kind of left me feeling a little bit sad, and I reflected on this and thought, well, do you know what's the most important asset we have? Well, possibly it's time, because time is finite, but sometimes we treat it as if it'll go on forever. But as I grow older, I realize it won't. And while we all have the same 24 hours in every day, 52 weeks in a year, people choose to spend their time very, very differently. And it was a real wake-up call for me to say, well, do you know what? I need to spend my time as wisely as possible. Because the other wake-up call, and the other real thing that brought things into focus, sharp perspective, whatever you want to call it, is that in 26 years' time, I'll be 70. So technically, I'll be retired. So really, I am at that mid-life point. You know, without wanting to get too depressed about it, time is running out. So I was really, really glad for this wake-up call. I always think there's a reason that you do everything. There's a lesson or an observation in everything. I made this observation. Why did I feel a mixture of emotions? I analysed it, and of course there's an action that stems from it. And I didn't really have to look too hard for the action or what I should take from this thing to move forwards, because what we did, we all connected with one another on Facebook so we could keep in touch moving forward, or on LinkedIn. One of my friends I reconnected with, I saw this blog post on their Facebook feed, and I read it, and it was a really, really powerful article which really spoke into the moment and spoke into what I was thinking and feeling at that time. And the article, let me get this correct, the article was from the Huffington Post and was written by somebody called Bronnie Ware, who is a writer and songwriter. Not somebody I've heard of in the past, only just come across my desk now. But although it was quite morbidly titled, if you find it, it had some important messages and lessons for life, which I took a positive spin on to present in this week's video, podcast and blog post. So I'm going to run through those now. And the first piece of advice it said was to live a life true to yourself, not the life others expect of you. Wow, how true is that? When I was at school, I was so worried about fitting in, not being the one to stand out, blending in with everybody else. As I've grown older, I've become less concerned about that. I put myself out there regularly each and every week through the blog, the podcast, the video. Last week I had some fantastic feedback through LinkedIn and through email. Occasionally I get some negative feedback and people say, well, what are you talking about? Which is fine. It's just feedback. I don't take it personally, but I'm willing to put myself out there now to stand out. And of course, if you're in the job market, that's exactly what you need to do, because if you're in a position at the moment that you're not happy in, well, potentially you're not being true to yourself. And to be true to yourself, I think, is the real secret to happiness in life. It may be time for a change, maybe time to make a change for the better. So, my view is that, we all have dreams. We had dreams as kids. We have one life to live those dreams. And the best time to act on those dreams is not tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now. It's actually right now in this present moment. Second piece of advice was don't work so hard. Well, I am very guilty of that at the moment. I feel like I'm doing far too much, running around a little bit much. I've got two young boys. And this was a reminder to me that, I'm working hard to secure their financial future, but in actual fact, I've got to balance that with being around and present in the moment for them. So a real wake-up call on that. Third thing, express your feelings. Now, I've been very honest and open on this video and in my blog post and podcast this week to say that I had emotional response to this school reunion. And I'm okay with that, because I think it's important. If you show your emotions to people, and when I'm talking about showing your emotions, I'm talking about controlled emotions. I'm not talking about breaking down in tears or anything like that, or getting angry. What I'm talking about is not being afraid to put yourself out there, to be an emotional human being, which is what we all do and what we all are. If you think about the decisions that you make in life, they're all based on emotion, and then we justify with logic. And it's great to put yourself out there in terms of emotions. Control the emotions based on the situation you're in, but don't suppress them, because if you suppress them, that's where they can start to hurt you. That's where you can start to become unwell. That's when it can really start to have a negative impact on you. So, expressing your feelings, I think, is an important piece of advice. The more we express our feelings with other people, the more we invite those people to express their feelings back to us. And what better way to build a more meaningful, trusted, and personal relationship? Lesson 4 was stay in touch with friends. Well, I think I got the message from the weekend. 26 years is far too long. Some of these people live an hour away from where I live, and I've not seen them in 26 years. We all get busy working, but in actual fact, family, friends first, finance second. It's important to have a balance in life, to have a balance of what we do. A really important lesson there too. And the final one, I'm smiling when I say this, is let yourself be happy. I talk about this in my book, Super Secrets of Successful Executive Job Search, where people tend to focus either on the past or the future, obviously when it comes to job search. But again, in life, we focus on the past. Oh, I was happy when, or the future, I'll be happy when. And I hear people say this all the time. And I've done it in the past. And really, if we do that, we live in the past or the future, we forget the moment. We forget to be present, we forget to be mindful, There's this whole area of learning and education now around emotional intelligence. Being mindful of the moment and in the moment is the only thing we can control. If we can control that, we have the opportunity to shape the future. And if we're in the moment and we really focus on that moment, then it's my belief that the future will take care of itself in a positive way. And gratitude is something I practice on a regular basis. And gratitude is about celebrating the things we have, not the things we don't have. It's the things we have, even little things. Because something called the law of attraction, you can read more about this if you Google it. It says that, you know, if we get what we think. So if we think about positive stuff, think about grateful stuff, we're happy with what we've got, we'll get more of it. But if we worry about what we don't have, where we're lacking or where we believe we're lacking, then that can be a downward spiral. So really focusing on what you think essentially delivers your results in life. So yeah, the other thing with happiness, you know, I'm smiling as I do this. I try and raise a smile to people each and every day when I go to the coffee shop, when I go to buy my lunch. Have a smile, have a conversation with people. It's a great way to practice networking and building relationships. And also that smile, if transferred to that other person, might just brighten their day and might just spread that positive energy. So yeah, some great bits of advice there. Live a life true to yourself, not the life others expect of you. Don't work so hard. Express your feelings, stay in touch with friends, and let yourself be happy. So what not specifically demonstrated here is relating to the job market. Of course they do, if you think long and hard about that advice. And the final piece of this article sums things up really, really well. And I'll read this. It says, life is a choice. It's your life. Choose consciously, choose wisely, and choose honestly. Choose happiness. I thought that was fantastic. So if any of my old school friends are watching this video, I'd like to thank you for welcoming me at the weekend, for being the inspiration for this video and the other content that I put out this week. If you've attended a school reunion, if you've got a similar story, you wanted to share anything, please use the comments box below. I'd love to hear from you. Or feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. My username is Simon Gray, GrayACA, which is linkedin.com/in/Simon Gray ACA. Or visit the website, careercodex.com. There's an opportunity there to sign up to the weekly newsletter. It means you'll get this content direct to your inbox, and you can reach out to me there through the contact page. So that's really it for this week. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back next week with another weekly video.